Stand by for Gowanna.org radio. In 3, 2, 1. Cue the announcer.
You found Gowanna.org radio, your one source for tech news and reviews. Now, almost live from sunny Florida, here's your host, Gowanna McCall.
Greetings, folks, and welcome to episode 275 of Gowanna.org radio. We got a great show lined up for you. Six stories to talk about today. Today is Thursday, September 12th, 2013, and we're here at live.gowanna.tv and at twitch.tv/Gowanna. You can come check us out behind the scenes. We're radio.gowanna.org, which is my website, which is currently broken as all broken can be, and we're still working on fixing that. I've got a couple solutions ready, and I'm going to do some testing when I get some time, and when I can pry my hands away from some of these games, I can actually make time to work on the website. Just going to have to stop playing all that Final Fantasy. Yeah. I was playing Infinite Crisis yesterday too during maintenance, and I was getting hooked on that. Oh, too many games. But we're not here to talk about games. This is my technology podcast. We talk about tech news and reviews. About what's going on. We did our last show on Tuesday, so there's only going to be a couple days worth of news in this show, but it's a pretty good mix. I'm liking this lineup. It looks pretty good. So we got a great show lined up for you for episode 275 of Gowanna.org radio.
It's time for Gowanna.org radio's tech news for this week.
And for our first story, we're going to talk about Samsung. Samsung, the technology company that makes them beautiful TVs, but you may know them from their newest big blowout foray in the Android smartphone, tablet, phablet market. Samsung has come out with a statement, and it's kind of a reactionary statement, which kind of surprised me. I'm not sure why they did this, but if you know, let's go back in history a little bit. The September 10th event at Apple released the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 5S. And the iPhone 5S is this iteration of the iPhone 5. And one of the things that was in this iPhone 5, one of the hardware features was 64-bit processing. Apple basically came out and said that it's a 64-bit processor and it has benefits. And analysts like myself and other people on the internet pretty much said this is Apple future-proofing the device, because there won't be a whole lot of software at the moment that could utilize the 64-bit processing hardware. So this is more of a forward-looking design decision, and it's going to be a good investment because it probably will support some of the newer stuff that's going to be coming out, which I imagine is going to be more 64-bit. Anyway, we're talking about Samsung. Samsung has come out with a statement that says, "Me too. We're going to do that too." I'm like, Samsung, well, you didn't have to come out and say that, but I guess they did. They came out and said it. This is Shin Jung-kyun revealed this. His quote says, "Our next smartphones will have 64-bit processing functionality." That's the quote. This is obviously out of context. There's got to be some kind of context with this, because by itself it sounds very, very reactionary and just like, we're going to do it too. And from my perspective, I'm like, so we kind of assume that's and it got me analyzing things a little bit deeper, and I shouldn't be. It's probably harmless on the surface, but why would Samsung say that? We're doing that too. Don't you dare look at that iPhone over there. We're gonna be 64-bit too. I mean, Samsung's got good phones. I mean, I didn't like too much the Galaxy S3 and S4. I opted for the HTC One for a lot of reasons, and they got good phones. I don't know why they would have to come out and say that. We're going to be 64-bit too. Yeah. But anyway, like I said, the benefits of 64-bit hardware and software, kind of a marriage. You can see some benefits of 64-bit currently today. I talked about some of the security features last show that could benefit. Just more address space for a lot of different things to make the phone more secure. But in terms of speed and something that the consumer can see, you may not see it all immediately. It's going to be coming later. Samsung says we're going to be doing that too eventually. We're going to be doing that. I don't know, man. If you're in the lead, this is something that Apple did when they were in the market lead position. You really don't have to say this kind of stuff. It should go without saying that our next smartphones will have 64-bit processing. If you're in the lead in the market, you shouldn't have to say that, unless you're a little bit, insecure about your lead, and that's what people may take out of this. I see no reason behind it. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but it kind of shocked me that they said that. I'm like, why would they say that? Check it out, guys. Over on GigaHome.com, they got the details. Samsung says we got 64-bit coming. You'll see. It'll be here soon. Check it out over there. And for our next story, we're going to talk about Microsoft. Microsoft is they're going to be doing Windows Phone. Oh, they already did Windows Phone. Wait, yes. Windows Phone is still relevant. This is the story. I'm sorry, Microsoft. I had to poke fun at you a little bit, but Microsoft Windows Phone 8.1 update supposed to be coming out soon. And supposedly, they're going to have their own version of a personal assistant. Their own version of Siri, if you will, on Windows Phone. Who do you think Microsoft could use? What persona? Clippy? Nah. Clippy's stupid. Everybody wants to kill Clippy with death. Let's see. There's maybe something along. Maybe they can use, I don't know, a mascot of some sort. The little dog, nah. No. Okay, well, Microsoft, they do have the Xbox, and, futuristic stuff on Xbox. Digital assistant. Futuristic stuff. Cortana? From Halo? Brilliant! Yeah. Cortana from Halo apparently is going to be Microsoft's digital assistant on their Windows Phone. If you're not familiar with Halo, Halo is a first-person shooter on the Xbox. I don't know, you've been living under a rock if you haven't heard of it, but it's very, very popular. It has a really, really big brand out there, and if they do this right, it could be the boost that Microsoft needs to get Windows Phone and just the new Windows brand and the new Windows marketing off the ground. They have some screenshots of Cortana in action that you can check out, but it's nothing extremely futuristic, if you will. It's like a lot of text-based stuff. You can tell it's kind of early. You're not going to see a hologram pop out of your phone and go, "What would you like today, sir? You have a meeting, blah, 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 blah. Would you like some cheese and eggs on your jam?" I don't even know what that means. But Cortana, the next digital assistant, the next personal assistant coming to Windows Phone 8.1 apparently. This is going to be interesting if it pans out to be a success. If it pans out to be a really good implementation of it, because that is an iconic figure in the Halo universe. There's a lot of nerds everywhere that played Halo that want Cortana on their phone. Let me just make that clear. If you played Halo and you dug the story and you have a smartphone, there's a really good percentage chance that you're probably gonna dig Cortana as your digital assistant. So check this story out. Man, Microsoft's coming with it. I don't know, man. I saw a story that Microsoft said that their market share grew like 80% with the Windows Phone. So no, man. Fire Steve Ballmer. Everything starts going great. I'm just joking. I know that stuff happened prior to Steve Ballmer's departure. But Microsoft is looking for a glimmer of hope on the Windows Phone because they are in the, they're the back. You got iOS, you got Android, and then you got miscellaneous, and then you got other miscellaneous, and then you got Windows Phone. But we talked about it before. Windows Phone is doing well in Latin America and other places like that. But we'll be watching this very closely. Cortana, digital assistant on your smartphone. Can you dig it? Will it make you switch to a Windows Phone from your Android or iOS device? Check it out, guys. This is over on TheVerge.com. They got the details. Microsoft's Cortana from Halo could be your next digital assistant on your smartphone.
You're listening to Bawana.org Radio, a potpourri of tech news and reviews.
What's for our next story? We're going to talk about Dell. Dell has gone private, or has been approved to go private. We've been talking about this for a few months. Dell's been trying to go private for quite a while. They've been putting out these deals, been putting these proposals out to the shareholders to approve, and finally it has been approved. According to this press release, Dell stockholders approve their merger transactions. Dell today announced that based on a preliminary vote tally from a special meeting of stockholders, Dell stockholders have approved a proposal in which Michael Dell, Dell's founder, chairman, and CEO, will acquire Dell in partnership with global technology investment firm Silver Lake Partners. In connection with the transaction, Dell stockholders will receive $13.75 in cash for each share of Dell common stock they hold, plus payment of special cash dividend of 13 cents per share of stockholders to stockholders of record to date prior to victim blah blah blah. The total transaction is valued to be approximately, get it now, here we go, $24.9 billion. Yes, $24.9 billion. This is the Dell buyout. Basically, they're going private, going back to the private realm. And they have their motivations behind this. And, I'm happy for them. I'm glad Dell got what they wanted. I think they wanted to get off of the stock exchange. And, when they did go public a while ago, that was an exciting time for them. But Dell's been up and down. And I think the private space is good for Dell. This is where they belong, I think. I think they're going to do well there, and I hope for the best for them. Now, they are a direct competitor to my employer, HP, so my views expressed here on this podcast do not reflect that of my employer. Just want to put that disclaimer out there. I got a Dell monitor, so let's hope they make more monitors. I want an HP monitor. You going to buy it for me? No. So check this story out, guys. Dell's going public. No, Dell's going privately public. Privately public. They're going private, back to the private realm, the private sector. And it's only going to cost $24.9 billion. Now, this is actually more than what they proposed before. I think, here it is. They got it linked here. It's $2 billion higher than what they proposed this past winter. So, wow. I guess more money was needed to get this deal off the ground. But Dell's not going to the private sector, guys. Check it out over on the BoardGeniusReport.com. They got the details over there about Dell going back to that private sector. And for our next story, we're going to talk about Twitter. Twitter is actually going public. Dell's going private. Twitter's 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 going public. They're filed an S1 with the SEC, not the Southeastern Conference, you football nut. We're talking about the Securities and Exchange Commission. Oh, man. Twitter tweeted this tweet about this tweetful event. We've confidentially submitted an S1 to the SEC for a planned IPO. That's an initial public offering for those of you who don't know what those three letters mean. This tweet does not constitute an offer of any securities for sale. I have no idea what that sentence means. I gotta imagine there's some kind of legal mumbo jumbo. They have to put a disclaimer about that. I'm too stupid when it comes to this kind of stuff. I just don't. A better term is ignorant. Because if I was stupid, I'd know it. I wouldn't do it. But this tweet does not constitute an offer of any securities for sale. Okay. So you can't help but think back to Facebook, man. When you talk about a Twitter IPO, it's hard to not think about Facebook. Because the Facebook IPO was a disaster. It was a disaster. And I mean, everybody was talking about how Facebook IPO was going to be the biggest in history and how they were going to do all kinds of awesome, wonderful things. But the Facebook IPO was chaotic. It had a lot of controversy around it, and they made a lot less money than people thought they would. So Twitter is evaluated right now at about a $10 billion valuation. $10 billion valuation. And they're talking about that their public or their IPO may be between 15 to 20 billion. So let's hope that those of you who are going to invest, honestly, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm gonna be a little bit humble here. Sorry for hitting the mic. I'm gonna be a little bit humble here. I think if you're watching the podcast, you're probably not gonna buy any of this stock. This is for people with lots and lots of money. And I'm not just saying. I mean, maybe people who watch my or listen to my show have lots and lots of money. But to get in on this IPO, you're gonna have to have some connections. It ain't gonna be cheap. But those of you who may be listening, the handful of you, I don't know how many there are of you. I hope it goes well if you do invest in Twitter. Twitter has come a long way since the early days. And I remember when they first launched, people were talking about, are you going to go public? Are you going to go public? And Twitter was like, no, we're not going public. We're not going public. Leadership has changed quite a bit since that statement. And a lot at Twitter has changed. I mean, they've monetized to death. And that was one of the biggest concerns with Twitter. How are they going to monetize this 140 character thing? What are you doing? Who cares what you're doing? Now, Twitter is transformed so much, people don't even say what they're doing. They talk about everything else. They don't say what they're doing. Twitter used to be, their mantra was, what are you doing? And you used to tweet it. And people like, ooh, you're doing that? That's interesting. No, nobody tweets what they're doing anymore. Do you? I don't say, I'm going to the fridge to get a burrito. I'm going to place this burrito in, and then I run out of characters. Next tweet, in the microwave. 5 minutes sounds like a great time to put the another 440 character. People don't really do that anymore. On status sharing, it's become more commercialized. It's been, promoting stories. It's been breaking news. It's been memes. It's been I don't know, just a bunch of hashtags and trends. It is no longer what are you doing. So it is definitely transformed, but it's going public. They have filed the S1 with the SEC via a tweet. Well, not via a tweet, but, they let us know via a tweet. Check it out, guys, over at TechCrunch.com. Twitter's going public. IPO time. Time for some moolah. Let's hope Twitter does well with this. Check it out. They got the details over there.
You found Bawana.org Radio. Tech news and tech gadgets for the hardcore geek in all of us.
This next story is going to be cool. I just said that, but I wasn't recording, but I'm saying it again. This next story is going to be cool. Why? This is over at MakeUseOf.com. This is something that I used to do myself, and I got quite a bit of experience with it. Why you no longer need a KVM switch for your multi-PC setup. This is a story on MakeUseOf.com. Buana, you got more than one PCs? Man, I got tons and tons of not more than one PCs. Yes, I got two computers on my desk. And a lot of times, as you grow as a geekazoid, as you become more tech savvy, you start venturing out to the different OSs and different pieces of hardware you inherit. You go to a pawn shop and you buy a stupid laptop, 386 with 250 pieces of dirt of RAM, and then you put Linux on it. You're like, I am glorious. I now have a laptop that couldn't even boot, and it now runs Linux, and it has a prompt blinking. I don't know what to do with it, but it's there. And you put that on your desk, and you go, I'm a geek. That machine is sitting there. That screen is black. That cursor is blinking. Ha! I'm in the Matrix. I'm going to go over here and play some Final Fantasy. And you just sit there with that computer next to you. But the problem is that when you need to switch over to that laptop or to that other machine, you got to switch to another keyboard and mouse. You have to switch to another another input. And we used to have these devices called KVMs. Archaic devices these are. They were keyboard, video, and mice switches. And essentially, you would connect your one keyboard, your one mouse, and your one monitor to multiple machines, and you had a switch box to switch in between the different inputs. This was very common. I had test beds when my old jobs, and we had KVMs everywhere. 1 KVM, 3 KVMs connected to. We had change of KVMs, all connected to these different. Because we had to test different operating systems. NT, 3.1, DOS, Unix, all these different things, and they were using KVMs. So this article I want to make use of talks about why you no longer need that stuff, because now we have this software emulation, and I know a lot of you may have heard of this piece of software called Synergy. Synergy is a great piece of software once you get it working, and I'm glad this article agrees with me, is that Synergy is not easy to set up. It takes a little time. And what this article shows and presents is that here are 3 programs that will replace a KVM switch, but these programs are actually easier to set up than Synergy. The first one's called Share Mouse. Share Mouse, and I'm not using any of these, so I'm tempted to try these, but we'll see. On the PC where you install it, you can set up security features and network settings so that the sharing on the PC will remain secure. You can share your monitor, you can share your mouse. Essentially what this does is that it allows 1 mouse and 1 keyboard to work across multiple computers. You would install the software on both computers. They would communicate via the network, and your mouse would, be able to be used on other things. You also share clipboards. You can drag and drop files. They got all these different options. Clipboard synchronization. So you have to be sure you want to do that. They have this thing here called the Monitor Manager, so you can manage where your monitors are sitting. Like, for example, this right here shows that A, B, and C. You can't see it on your screen because you're listening to a podcast with no video. But you can imagine the 3 monitors set up, and they have them lined up. And your laptop monitor may be a little higher than your desktop monitor, which is the case. Not the case here. My laptop monitor is a little bit lower. So you can arrange them to be higher and lower with that. There's another piece of software called Light Manager. And it's very similar. It has a viewer and client piece of a program. And you put in IP addresses of your machines. And you have different options to synchronize your mouse, keyboard, and monitor across multiple machines. And it has some similarities with VNC Viewer. So if you're familiar with that, this will be the option for you. And finally, the third option is called Input Director. Input Director is this author's second favorite. He thinks Share Mouse is the best, but you can configure your machine as either the slave or the master, and essentially you can get an idea what that means. Your slave machines will be communicating with the master, and the master will be housing all the settings and all the configuration options, whereas the slaves will just follow suit to what you tell the master machine. Everything is done by IP address, so it is all networked and all kinds of cool stuff. So he says in seconds he was connected between his 2 screens, laptops, and a second laptop set to the right with a single keyboard and mouse. So if you're thinking about, if you walked into a computer shop and you saw this KVM device and you were like, man, I never even thought this was possible. This is cool. Think twice, because there are programs out there that do the exact same thing, but from a software perspective. And don't forget, Synergy is a very popular one. Like I said, but it takes some time to get working. If you can get it working in under an hour, that would be an impressive feat. A lot of people take multiple days to get it working the way they want. Some people take a few hours. I don't remember how long it took me to get it working the first time. I don't remember, because I did it with Linux and some other things, I think. And it was kind of weird. Kind of weird. Check it out, guys, over at MakeUseOf.com. They got the details why you no longer need a KVM switch for your multi-PC setup. You can use these 3 pieces of software or Synergy to get your 1 keyboard and mouse input on. Oh man, this one's going to be good too. I just said that off recording, but I'm going to say it on recording again. This one's going to be good too. This next story is also on MakeUseOf.com. And I like this story because I'm actually in the market for something like this. This is the 5 best office chairs you can buy right now. And I had a lot of input from my old office chair, which went kaput. The seat padding went out, so I couldn't use it anymore. But this article is great, man. I had this mesh ergonomic chair that was the bestest ever. And I really regret not rebuying the same chair, because I went and bought another cheaper kind of a chair, which looked good, but it ended up being a lot worse. So this particular article says the 5 best you can buy now, and I'm looking at some of the features of these, and they're actually pretty good. The first one's called the Office Star Space Professional Air Grid, and I'm gonna tell you, if you live in Florida or if you live in a place where the sun shines with vigorous anger and expeditiously makes you sweat, you probably want to invest in a chair with a mesh buttock area, because you get these pools of sweat under your bottom that's very uncomfortable and squishy. Ew, yes, squishy. And the same is true for your back. If you get a mesh chair, the only way I can say it is that your butt can breathe. You want a breathable butt bottom. You want your butt to breathe for your neighbors, for the people around you, and for your loved ones, and for your underwear. You want your butt to breathe. So get chairs that have mesh if you live in Florida. Hey. But this Office Star has a mesh on the back. It has lumbar support, and it looks pretty good. It's $175 on Amazon. I don't know about this one. It's comfortable. And they say it has a cloth seat and oh, okay. So I didn't see this before. They do have a mesh seat version of it. I prefer a chair with it. If I'm going to buy a new chair now, it's going to have a mesh seat, because one is not going to have mud butt. What is it called? Swamp butt. That's what they call it. Swamp butt. Mud butt. Something completely. This podcast just got weird. Get a mesh seat. The cloth chair is good if you live up north where the sun is a little bit less angry. Here's another one called the Herman Miller Mira. I don't like it because of the name, but this is mesh. It's got a mesh back and a mesh chair. And it's a work chair. It does recline, can be fitted with adjustable tension. It does. If you look at a chair, make sure it has a bar going across the back that's adjustable. That's called lumbar support. You will thank me if you get a chair with lumbar support. Your lumbar will be happy. Let me just say that this one goes around $600 though. And the thing with these good chairs, they're kind of a healthy investment. They cost a lot of money though. So you kind of have to invest in it. Like that chair I really loved cost a lot, and I went cheaper on the next one and I regretted it. The next one is called the Office Star Work Smart. This one looks a little bit more traditional. It doesn't look all that meshy. It does look comfortable though. It's got a high back. It's $200. And it's probably the cheapest option on this article. Steel case Leap looks very, very expensive. It looks this one looks very futuristic. It's got an orange back and an orange butt. You're probably gonna have a swamp butt if you have this one. $650, and the full feature version sell for $900. I don't know if it has a mesh option, but we will see about that. Then the Raynor Ergo Human. This is the RoboCop chair. This is the RoboCop chair, guys. This one has lumbar support. It is the law. It tells you to drop your weapons. It has a cake dispenser. It has cupcakes, and it has, never mind, $650. Pretty expensive, but it looks impressive. I would probably want to sit in this one first. I mean, it has the headrest. Headrests are very, very awesome. I miss mine. This chair I have now doesn't have a headrest, but headrests are pretty freaking awesome. And I don't know if that warrants getting a $650 chair. It does look very well built. The problem I have right now with my current chair is that it sinks. And you guys know, so a lot of you out there have told me that, boy, I am with you on that thing. The chair just randomly sinks. It's like the pneumatic device thing, the pneumatic pipe thing just goes out, and you just start randomly sinking. And then you pull it up, you go, and then you pull it up, it goes. It just keeps doing that over and over again. I'm having that problem right now. My last chair, which I still have, I haven't thrown it out, just doesn't have a padding on the seat. Gotta find a pillow maybe. It doesn't do that. After years of usage, it still doesn't do that. So check the story out, guys, over on makeuseof.com. I can rant about chairs all day and night. But if you're in the market for a chair, check out these 5. You can use it as a guide to maybe find some lesser expensive models of them. I use a site called bizchair.com, BIZ chair.com. You can get some great deals on some pretty good ergonomic chairs, so you don't get that sweaty butt that nobody wants to have. And you also want some good lumbar support and good posture. That's important too. But if you live in the Florida where the sun hates you, mesh is all the way. Check it out, guys. MakeYourself.com. They got details. Hey guys, Buona here. Just want to take time to thank our corporate sponsors, Amazon.com, Greenman Gaming, and YouTube. Without these guys, Buona.org radio would not be possible. So thank you to our corporate sponsors. And that concludes episode 275 of Buona.org radio. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show. We're over on YouTube at youtube.com/ILBuffy. You can check out the past episodes of this up until a certain point. Radio.buona.org is my website, which has most of the archives going way back to that early 2000, mid-2000 area when I was doing this stuff. But if you want to check it out, you can go over there. The site's kind of broken. You might get a blank screen, but keep trying. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Buona or twitter.com/BuonaLive, which is my special Twitter account to let you know when I'm going live on my live stream. So if you just want to be notified, hey, that Buona guy is going live, you can check out that Twitter account over there. I'm on Google Plus at google.com/+Buona. And I want to thank everybody for supporting the stream and also for supporting me in my endeavors. So everybody, I will see you all next week. Everybody have a great day. That concludes episode 275. Everybody have a great weekend, and I will see you all next time. This church. Oh, I just scared myself with my own music.